Is it Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico, yes, Puerto Rico. True. So that's what, there are, boliye Kamla ji.
I explain this with the chakras. We have 7 chakras in our body. So the bottom 3 chakras are tamas. Our Manipur, Muladhar, Swadhisthana and Manipur, they are mostly tamas. And then comes our Anahat chakra and Vishuddhi chakra, they are mostly rajas. And then comes our Agya chakra and Sahasrara chakra, they are mostly
Sattva. Very nice. Yeah. So you will see that this topic is so vast. So we can have 2 or 3 classes, but don't worry, it's coming. A lot of it is coming. So for our purpose right now, just remember that Prakriti is made of 3 gunas. We cannot get away from it. Yes, it's a good idea to have the sattva in the front and other 2 in the back. That's all. Okay. So any other thing before we read Swamiji? All right. So who was reading it?
The only comment is that God is beyond the 3 gunas.
Yes. We have to transcend the gunas, and that's why we keep talking about transcending. But the jnani knows that the action is happening in the 3 gunas.
Right.
Okay, that's what. So he's not stopping the action. He's being aware and has a complete wisdom in him that these whatever I'm acting, it is acting in the Prakriti. So that's why he doesn't get deluded by the gunas. उसको कभी नेगेटिव भी गुना आएगा तो उसको वो देखेगा, उसको बोलेगा oh my negative gunas are coming, and that will come in when the chapter comes on guna. Krishna Bhagavan will explain that he becomes a witness of the gunas. So it's not like the sadhu sant never feel lazy. They also feel sometimes lazy. They will also sleep. It's necessary to sleep, to tamoguna. Otherwise, we will not be able to sleep if we don't have tamoguna in us. So there is some benefit of having those, and it is the way the Prakriti has made itself. That's what it is, Okay. So Smriti ji, aap padhiye aage. Smriti ji, can you hear me?
Man is ever hungry. Yes, I can. Should I start now?
Yes, please.
Man is ever agitated. Okay. Man is ever agitated under the influence of the triple tendencies of unactivity. Sattva, activity, rajas, and inactivity, tamas, inherent in him. Even for a single moment, he cannot remain totally inactive. Total inactivity is the character of utterly insentient matter. Even if we are physically at rest, mentally and intellectually we are active all the time, except during the state of deep sleep. So long as we are under the influence of these 3 mental tendencies, gunas, we are helplessly prompted to labor and to act.
Okay, so here, I was telling you that there are some terms he's going to use that he's going to open up later. So this sattva, he called it unactivity, and it is that akarma mode. When you get into that mode, when you become the witness and you are not the doer, then even while the vigorous activity, it's called unactivity. Because I'm not doing it, he knows that the Prakriti is doing it, Bhagwan is everything, and I'm just nobody. So that's what activity, you already know, rajas, and inactivity is laziness. कि जो भी ड्यूटी है वो बस मेरे को करना ही नहीं है, कुछ ना कुछ बहाना लगा के don't do it. That becomes inactivity. So he's saying that even for everybody does one or the other, all 3 of them. So we cannot live. We already explained in detail why we cannot live without action, and except in deep sleep, of course. And wo bhi deep sleep, maybe, as I told you, all the other actions are going on. Only mind and intellect are quiet for a little while. But we know the moment we get up, mind and intellect immediately get activated. So that's what he's saying, that so long as we are under the influence of these, and as long as we are alive, we will be under the influence of the 3, and then we will be active. Okay. आगे पढ़िए स्मृति जी.
Therefore, not to act at all is to disobey the laws of nature, which shall, as we all know, bring about a cultural deterioration in ourselves. If there is a creature that remains inactive physically, he will become dissipated in his thoughts. Therefore, the Gita advises him to act vigorously with the right attitude of mind, so that he may avoid all internal waste of energy and learn to grow in himself.
So, see, that's why the advice of Gita is that, if we disobey the law of nature, if we become inactive, not unactivity, inactivity. So if we become inactivity, there'll be cultural deterioration in ourselves. And then, we already discussed that, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to know that if you become lazy, कोई development कुछ नहीं होगा. जो भी companies में people become lethargic and lazy, it start going downhill, So activity is very important to do for a progress of this universe. But you do it with right attitude of mind. That's the main thing. So action itself doesn't mean anything. What is motive behind it, was attitude behind it is everything. There are many actions which may look extremely noble, and people might do a lot of talis, oh, such a great man and all that, but sometimes his motive may be totally not so great, and when you say the law of karma is judged on those kind of things. That's why when they say, oh, why do good people suffer, there is, like our teacher used to say, there is no mistake in God's math, and people who are accountants over here in this group, they know कि अगर एक पैसा भी कम होता है, we have to go 100 times to see कि कहाँ गया वो, and we have to be so balance everything and blah blah. So अगर हम ये earthly plane पे इतना balance करते हैं तो वहाँ पर तो perfect है. But then we think that, oh, I have done such great things and all that, and why am I suffering, But are my motive clear behind it? And then I'm bringing so many sanskaras from previous lives. I don't know what I've done in my previous life. So, the bigger picture may be totally different than what I think I should be getting or deserving and all that. So we have to remember those kind of things, in this context. Okay. Where did you finish? Yeah. The last sentence.
Yeah. Now, the one who knows not the self, it is not right for him to neglect the duty enjoined on him.
So he's going to tell कि जिसको not for him who knows not the self, is it not right to neglect the duty? He's going to open it up, the whole concept more, and it is something like this. Okay, but I cannot stop the action, but if I forcibly try to do that and meditate, then what can happen? Okay, the danger he's telling you. And that's why I said that in the next verse he comes out very strong, and he uses very strong word, and Swamiji even uses more stronger word. But please don't misunderstand him. He's just telling us how to refine our karma yoga and how to refine our meditation and all that. He's not saying do this or don't do this, and so don't take it wrong. Oh, Krishna Bhagavan is saying don't meditate, just keep doing action. That's not what he's saying at all. So we have to kind of read it in the correct context with the open mind. Okay. So the next verse, let's see.
One more thing is that the soul actually doesn't have any of these tamas, rajas, and gunas. So that is why when we are doing activity, also we need always also look inwards and be like a witness, as you said, So actually nothing touches the soul. These are not attributes of the soul. But when the soul identifies itself with the body, mind, and ego, then we have these gunas.
Yes. And that's the whole goal in meditation, is to detach yourself or transcend, because the soul is pure. It doesn't have all these three. True. So next verse is Karmendriyani sanyamya aste manasa smaran indriyarthan vimudhatma mithyachar sa uchyate. So, karmendriyani, organs of action. Hands, legs, all those things are organs of action. Speech. Sanyamya, restraining, means when you control these organs of action. Yaha, who. Aste, sits. Manasa, by the mind. Smaran, remembering. Indriyarthan, sense objects. Vimudhatma. Like somebody was saying that Krishna Bhagavan has used this word muda many times. Mood means like Bewakoof bolos, huh? Murk, yeah. Bewakoof bolo, unintelligent, like murk. So, but vimud atma is a very interesting word. So, जब V लगता है ना आगे mood के आगे, तो मतलब very special kind of idiot, not just ordinary idiot, विशेषण idiot, So when V कोई भी चीज के आगे V लगा है इसका मतलब बहुत emphasis किया उसके ऊपर. Somebody said PhD in murkhata. That's what it is. Vimudatma, that's the word. So I told you he's going to use strong words because he wants to wake us up. Go by my prescription. Don't just jump to, something. Of deluded understanding. Mithyachar. And we know this word very well. Hypocrisy. I'm saying something and doing something else. Hypocrisy. Saha is he. Uchyate is called. So here he's saying, next person who got the book now that didn't read before ever. Anybody in the group? No?
Is Sheila there today?
Huh?
Sheila, did she come today?
Yeah, she was here. Oh, there, Sheila ji. You want to read, Sheila ji?
No, Sheila ji's books are still with me.
Oh, still with you. Okay. So here, then we have to go back to our old group who used to read. Who wants to read? Just unmute and raise your hand so we know who's reading. Okay. I guess, Shireen, you don't have that. Did you get that book? Okay, so then you can read Mandukya. Here, आप पढ़िए, प्रेम जी. Unmute yourself. No, wait. Unmute first, Premji. Ha.
Okay. He who, restraining the organs of action, sits thinking in his mind of sense objects, he of deluded understanding is called hypocrite.
So he's saying that, suppose we don't listen to Bhagwan, okay? And we say, no, I'm ready for meditation. So then he's going to sit down. He can restrain his organ of action, he's saying. What does that mean? Hands and legs, I can close. Even my Gyanendriya to a certain extent, like my eyes, I can close forcibly. Ears, I don't want to hear something. I go in a room and shut everything off and all that. Everything I can do. I'll be successful. I actually will feel quiet. I'll actually feel good. All those things are going to happen. But can I stop my mind? Mind is going to keep running. And then if I have not done enough karma yoga and I don't have enough detachment, I don't have enough purity of my mind, then what's going to happen? My mind is going to think of the इंद्रियों के जो विषय बोलते हैं ना जिसको कि मुझे ये करना है वो करना है like our teacher used to say to-do list आ जाएगी सामने because now everything is quiet. Oh my God, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. To-do list will come. So he's saying what Krishna Bhagavan is calling that it's basically that person is deluded. He just doesn't know what is right thing and he's a mithyachari. तो मतलब किसी ने बोला कि गौतम बुद्ध बैठे हुए हैं और एक दूसरा बंदा भी जाके उनको कॉपी कर रहा है बैठने के लिए. I am also meditating. Both are sitting, both are looking very quiet, both are looking very serene, but it's totally different what Gautam Buddha is doing versus what this man is trying to copy him. That's what it becomes. So he's saying that, and he's calling that person Vimud Atma. He's of a deluded understanding. If he thinks by controlling my Karmendriya and my Gyanendriya, I can meditate, it's not going to happen because we have to purify our mind So what like Swamiji used to say, get up from your seat of meditation, do karma yoga, and when the right time comes, meditation will happen automatically. And that's why I love that Demokadev Mahadev, because Bhagwan Shiv, moment like he finishes his job, what he has to do in the world, he sits and he goes into meditation. He's not looking over there, hey, which channel is coming on TV and flipping, nothing. He just automatically goes, because that's what it is, that, when your mind is pure, you have no desire. You don't need to go run around here and there. You do your worldly duties, but no, he's not going to say, I'm bored now, I don't know what to do. But, that's where the difference is in this whole thing. So another example someone gave is, when I forcibly tell my mind to, don't think now, it's my ego talking. My ego is telling the mind to shut up, and mind is not going to shut up, because mind has its own sanskaras. It's going to bubble from inside, all those impressions and all that. The nature is going to push it to think and all that. So again, what is the technique? You transcend that. That's the technique you learn. And then he gave the example. Suppose there's a fan is running. And I tell, fan, stop. Is it going to stop? The fan is running because of electricity, not because you are telling it to run. So if I want to stop the fan, I got to switch off the electricity, So this is the idea that when I just tell my mind to be quiet, it is not going to do that. And then I'm going to be thinking of the Vishayas and all that. So then my meditation is not going to be fruitful. That's why he's calling him a mithyachari and a hypocrite, and vimudhatma. He's a fool. Okay, so he's used pretty strong words here. Any question on that before we go? Okay. Go ahead.
So this verse is more on controlling the thought. Because if you think only by action, I'm not going to look at that object. But if your mind you're not able to control, then you are a mood. That's what it is.
Yeah, so he's saying that first you have to purify your mind, so you have a natural detachment. So we can, when we are,
is more important than the action.
Yeah. See, when we are saying that, hey, on one hand I'm saying I like to do this, I like to do that and all that, I have not yet in the mode of detachment yet. See, because if I'm full of so many desires, that's going to prompt me to think. That's what he's saying. So Vivek and Vairagya. Remember, there are two words. Whoever has studied Geeta, like Geeta ji over here, that in chapter 6 he says, when Arjun says that my mind is so strong, it's like a hurricane winds, I cannot control it. So he's saying, yes, the mind is strong, but with Viveka and Vairagya and practice, you can get it. So he tells them that this is a path, and Vivek means understanding on who I am, who is this Bhagwan, what is my relationship, that kind of Vivek of Nitya and Anitya, means what is real, what is unreal. Then Vairagya happens. Vivek, Jan, Vairagya. Hey, these worldly things are just useless. I don't need to waste my time on it. Then when I sit in meditation, then it will stop. Otherwise, forcibly we cannot stop it. That's what he's saying. Okay.
Should I go on? In this stanza, Lord Krishna is painting a caricature of one who in haste renounces all his activities. Such men are growing in number in every society, and in Hinduism, such escapists were especially more during certain period of our history, because in India, such backbencher in life, appropriate to themselves an angelic self-satisfaction that they are Buddhas in the making. This sad misunderstanding has been gnawing for centuries at the very roots of our culture. It would look certainly surprising to some of us to realize that in our very textbooks, in clear and unequivocal terms, we have been forbidden from such a sad and suicidal mistake.
So see how strong words Krishna Bhagwan has used, that, when you are not ready for it, you cannot just give up action, because it will be a disaster in the society and in certain periods of time, and he calling them backbenchers and things like that. So just remember that. We have already discussed in detail, so we can go forward. Yeah.
To sit back physically retired is not the way to reach anywhere, much less the final state of perfection. If this physical retirement is not efficiently accompanied by an equal amount of mental and intellectual withdrawal from the sensuous fields, the spiritual future of such a misinformed seeker is surely very bleak and dreary.
So he's just saying that with the physical retirement, mental and intellectual withdrawal from sensuous fields are also very important. So now there is one danger that can happen over here. Huh? So he's saying, oh, Krishna Bhagwan is saying, keep doing activity. It does not mean that we do these useless activities that sometimes we do. Like our teacher used to say कि कुछ party करनी है तो like make 20 dishes, because it's a competition. That's not what they're talking about. So when all the useless activities we have to cut down. Huh? So when we talk about karma yoga, the first thing comes is swadharma. What is my actual duty? So all these other paraphernalia that we add on ourselves, that's not activity. So we have to be very careful, because in Bhagavad Gita, if you don't take everything holistically and remember what we have learned before, there is a danger. Because then somebody will constantly keep doing something thinking, hey, that's what Krishna Bhagwan is saying. So keep that in mind, that he's talking about, action that are your duty. That's what you should not give up. All the other faltu actions we need to give up as quickly as possible. So.
The truth of this statement is very well supported by modern textbooks on psychology. To dissipate ourselves with immoral or criminal thought is more harmful than to physically indulge in them. The mind has tendency to repeat its own thoughts. When a single thought is repeated off and on, it creates in mind a deepening impression, and afterwards all thoughts arising in mind irresistibly flow in that prepared channel. Once the direction of the flow in mind has become fixed, all external activities of that individual become colored by his characteristic and tendencies. A mind that constantly meditates on the sensuous pleasure craves out for itself a deep sensuous tendency.
Carves out. Carves means वो channel बन जाता है.
And ere long, we discover that individual is helplessly egged on to act in the external world, as he had tragically planned for himself in his mind.
So he's just saying that on one hand, if you sit, say in meditation, but your mind is keep churning, that is, when your mind keeps churning on a thought, that's a lot more harmful, he's saying. And we know, एक बहुत अच्छा दृष्टांत है, वो सभी ने सुना होगा शायद, कि दो साधु जा रहे थे, एक नदी क्रॉस कर रहे थे, और one was like young and little strong and all that, and there was a woman who was like some young girl was there who didn't know how to swim or something. So this sadhu picked her up and crossed the river, and the other sadhu got really scandalized, saying, sadhu ho ke tune us aurat ko utha liya ye wo. So he only did it because to help the woman, and then he forgot about it. So later on, when they were having a discussion, so that young sadhu who had picked up the woman, he said, मैं तो उस औरत को कब का उतार चुका हूँ, तू ही उसको अपने सर पे लेके घूम रहा है. Means in your thoughts, you are constantly churning something is a lot more harmful. That's what Krishna Bhagwan is telling you. So just by pretending to sit when your mind is working too much, it becomes more harmful. So when that happens, we know that we need to go and do karma yoga to make our impressions and all that and clean our mind so that we can sit in meditation. So that's what he means over here. Okay, let's finish this, because even though it's got a little late.
To give physically a show of morality and ethics while mentally living a shameless life of low motives and foul sentiments, is the occupation of a man who is not a seeker of spiritual fulfillment, but, as in term here, a self-deluded hypocrite. Certainly, we all know that even if we can physically discipline ourselves, it is not easy for an average man to control the sensuous tendencies at his mental level.
So see, he used pretty strong words, physical show of morality and ethics. Oh, I'm so great. That's like, but in mind you are like, in this modern world, it happens a lot. Sometime when people talk really sweet in front of you, but अंदर उनके वो जहर भरा होता है. They are thinking, conniving that how to pull this person down. Those kind of tendencies, talking about, oh, I'm very civilized, I have to speak nice words, but then I'm saying all the good things and पीछे से yeah, something like that. And so if you do that, you're a self-deluded hypocrite. So we can physically discipline, but to mentally discipline, that's the main success over there. And then we know that जब हमारा मन शांत होता है ना, तब हम लोग बैठ भी सकते हैं. बिकॉज अगर मन शांत नहीं होता है तो फिर हमारा फिजिकली भी बैठना बहुत मुश्किल होता है. वी कीप स्क्वर्मिंग एंड वो टाइम पे खुजली वुजली सब शुरू हो जाती है, बिकॉज इट्स लाइक वी आर डिस्टर्ब्ड इन आवर mind, so the physical also becomes difficult. So you can read that last sentence and we can stop here then.
Krishna realizes that an ordinary man would not know how to save himself from his natural instinct, and therefore he prescribes the following stanza.
So now he's going to talk about further, obviously, that if somebody has that issue, there is a remedy for it. It's not like, oh, now I don't know what to do, so I can never meditate. No. He's going to prescribe everything how to do it. So that will come next. Okay. So we can stop. And if anybody has a question related to these two verses or any comment, can go ahead. Anything? No? Okay. So I'm assuming that everybody understood everything. So we can go to the Mandukya. So there are two verses. We'll do one. That means next week we will finish Mandukya, and uske baad wala jo week hoega na, we will start Kathopanishad. भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः सुष्ठुवागंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धशवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नक्षत्र्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Narayanam Padbhuvam Vashishtam Shaktin cha Tatputra Parasharam cha Vyasam Shukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogindra Mathasya Shishyam Shri Shankaracharya Mathasya Padmapadam cha Hastamalakancha Shishyam Tantrotakam Vartika Karyamanyan अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि. So let's go to verse 99. Shireen, you wanted to read? Shireen is not there because I see the name, but she may have gone.
No.
Okay.
I'm here.
Oh, you are here. Okay.
Yeah. So actually, aren't you going to do the...
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Kramatena hi buddhasya gnanam dharmeshu tainah sarve dharmastata gnanam naitad buddhena bhashitam. No, kramate does not ever touch. Buddhasya, of the realized one. Gnanam, the knowledge. Dharmeshu hi, any object at all. Tainaha, who is all wisdom. Sarve dharmaha, all the entities or jivas, means us. Tatha, similarly, etat jnanam, this knowledge, buddhena, by Buddha, the bhashita, na bhashitam, is not the view of. So let's see what he's saying and then I'll explain.
Okay. The knowledge of the realized one, who is all wisdom, is ever untouched by objects. Similarly, all the entities as well as knowledge are also ever untouched by any object. This is not the view of the Buddha.
Okay, so here he's talking about, the state of self-realized one, or, that Brahmi Sthiti, you can call it, we learned in Bhagavad Gita, or the man of steady wisdom. Remember? Sthita prajna. उस जो state है ना उसका, वो क्या है? It's all wisdom, and that he's not, it's ever untouched by the objects. And just now I think Sneha was talking about that. जो प्रकृति के गुण है ना, वो doesn't touch the what you call Brahman or God, or whoever you want to call it. Yeah. And it's the same example like the sunshine. That's I think that's an absolutely beautiful example. Sun is shining up there, and sunshine means the rays of sun come, right, on the earth and illumines everything. We can see this ray of sun touches a gutter also, and it touches Ganga Jal also, and it illumines it. Does the ray ever get contaminated? Never, right? That's one example. So in the worldly example also we see that it doesn't. Say space. Can I cut the space? Can I ruin the space? हम लोग बोलते हैं कि ओ ये जगह गंदी हो गई और हवा गंदी हो गई. We can pollute the air, that also temporarily. At its core of it, even water. H2O, in its purity, it's pure. But we are the one who throw things in it and make it dirty, okay? But the space is such, you neither can cut it, it cannot get contaminated. कितना भी बदबू वाली भी अगर हवा हो, it's not touching the space. Moment it goes away, space is clean. Or if there is a big blast, say a nuclear blast happens and everything around gets destroyed and all that, it cannot destroy the space. If we can understand those examples, this will become very easy to understand that, at that pure level, it is untouched by anything, and that is the whole crux of this Vedanta anyway, and of this Mandukya Upanishad. So similarly, all the entities as well as knowledge are also ever touched by any object. Remember we talked about that pure knowledge, that which is like when the light is shining and no objects are around, the light is still shining, and that's pure. Same way, knowledge, and no objects to recognize, still it's pure knowledge. So that is untouched by any object. And then he added this very controversial thing over here, said this is not the view of the Buddha, because this was actually done at the time. The history, if any of you know, that Buddhism came 2500 years ago, but the Vedas were there before that also. So they always say that saints and sages come on this earth at the right time for the right purpose, because at that time the Buddha's teachings were the right thing for whatever the society was going downhill and all that. And Buddha's thing was like how to make oneself happy, because we are all in this sansar chakra and we are all so pis rahe hain isme, like a chakki ki tarah. So he's saying that how to get out of our miseries. That's what his goal. So when it talked about God, they say there are different views about Buddha. One is like Buddha was silent on the topic of God. Some people say, oh, Buddha didn't believe in God. He just talked about, how to be happy. That's it. Some other people say, no, he was silent on the topic because he just felt it was not necessary. The crowd he was dealing with, he didn't want to go. Remember, Buddha, before he became Buddha, he had studies all the Shastras too. He was a regular Vedantin, but he took that path for a certain purpose. So, and one of the view is that Vedanta is like a big ocean that encompasses every kind of philosophy. It has room for every philosophy and more. It has a complete science, complete philosophy. So there in Vedanta, we are very strong about this substratum, Brahman, the ultimate truth. Everything is based on that. Whereas in the Buddhist, there are many sects have become different, and I don't even know. There are Mahayana, and there are so many different things. And some people say, oh, Buddhism, Buddha did not believe in rituals, but if you see Tibet and all right now, they do so much ritual. Have you ever gone to a Buddhist temple? It looks no different than a Hindu temple now with all the deities and all that. So there, so much division has happened. So different division have different philosophy, and some of them align little more with Vedanta, and then it talks about, certain aspects of that ultimate Brahman. Others don't. So all that mixture is there. And then one thought was that why did Buddhism not become so prevalent in India versus outside world? In China, Japan, all those other, because they said that India already had a very strong religion, or Vedanta. So they didn't need anything else. That's why that was one reason they gave, that it didn't spread that much. But others didn't have that strong, so that's why they liked it very much. And the second thing they talk about is that Shankaracharya, when he came 1200 years ago, he established Vedanta again. He felt that a lot of people were just following Buddhism, not Hinduism. A lot of people were following Buddhism, and they kind of lost that final aspect of Vedanta, which is a complete science according to him. So he wanted to revive it. That, hey, your ancestors have given you this Vedas and all, read them, understand them. So he revived it again, because otherwise it would have been kind of lost. So that was a historical background. So he's saying that because he used the word, a Buddha word is also used for enlightened one, right? So, but he's saying this is not the view of the Buddha, means जो बुद्ध भगवान हुए हैं ना अपने 2500 years ago, उनके लिए उन्होंने रेफर किया कि जो मैं कह रहा हूँ, this is not the view of Buddha, because he was silent on the topic of God. That's where the background is. Yes.
जो मैं कह रहा हूँ, who is saying this? Who wrote the Mandukya Upanishad?
Okay, Mandukya, this is a Karika. What we are reading is a Karika shloks. So the way nobody reads Mandukya just by itself, because there are only 12 mantras. Okay, so if you pick up pure mantras, there are only 12, and then Karika has this 209 mantras or something like that. I don't know exact number. I don't want to quote the exact number. I'm not sure. But Karika explains each mantra in huge depths, because the mantras are like capsule form. And so this particular book that we are doing, this one, is Mandukya Upanishad with Karika, it says at the bottom. Okay, so in this book, they have the 12 mantras are there, so this particular mantra is coined by Gaudapada, who was Shankaracharyaji's guru's guru, is Gaudapada. So Gaudapada is saying this is not the view of the Buddha, so he is saying it. This is not part of the Mandukya per se. Does that make it clear? Yeah. Okay.
In this, shall I read?
Mm-hmm. Anybody has any question about whatever I said besides? Yeah. Anilji.
So, is this saying that Buddha did not believe in Brahma?
See, the word is Brahman. Brahman is ultimate reality. He did not discuss it, but some of the later versions of Buddhism, they have incorporated some of it. See what I'm saying? But Buddha as such was silent on the topic of Brahman. Because if you study the basics of Buddhism, it tells you that this world, you are misery में हम लोग हैं. और even भगवद गीता में दुखालय बोला गया इस दुनिया को. दुख और सुख के बीच में हम लोग पिस रहे हैं यहाँ पे. He just said कि इसके बाहर कैसे आना चाहिए. ये अनित्य है सब. So there are, anitya of this world is a common theme between from Vedanta and them. That this world is all anitya, constantly changing, in flux. That's not you. And then but he didn't go as far as Brahman. No. That's true. That's why he said this is not the view of Buddha. Whereas Vedanta is like Tatvamasi, you are that. They straight take you to that Brahman. So that is the difference.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Somebody wants to say anything?
Yeah, I was just going to say, so when he's saying in that one, some of them talk about that silence, right? In this verse itself, it says, when it says quiet silence, then there are two views of it.
True.
One talks about the silence, and the other one remains silent, okay? There are two views of it. So when they talk about the silent, what does that
mean? Yeah.
What does that mean actually? Because they discuss further about what the silence meant or what the silence is. Whereas Buddha didn't say, he just kept silent.
Right. So Buddha का silence को भी उन्होंने interpret किया हुआ है. That's what you are saying. Yeah. True. So, but we don't need to worry so much about it. The reason he had to do that, because when he was writing this, 100 years ago, there was a lot of Buddhism and Vedantic में काफी debates होते होंगे, ये सब होते हैं. So he just put it. अपने को इतना चिंता करने की जरूरत नहीं है. For me, I like Buddhism very much too, because Buddhism is no different than Hinduism or Vedanta, but Vedanta goes a little further. That's all. So you can get a lot of benefit from Buddhism also, because the theory of karma, everything is there. It is like, 75-80% is Vedanta only in Buddhism also, a simplified way. So we don't need to worry too much, but what you are saying, Meenaji, is true. And when we read, you will see that they will have a different interpretation of what it means, the silence. Okay.
In this stanza, Godpada is summarizing his entire Karika and describes the living experience of the men of wisdom as pure knowledge, wherein there are no objects, and this objectless knowledge is knowledge absolute. But this pure consciousness is like space, untouched by anything that it suffers to contain in itself.
So that now you know what I already explained to you, that it describes the experience of men of pure knowledge, objectless knowledge, knowledge absolute. All these words are used, and just think of it as pure consciousness or as a space that cannot get contaminated. And same thing Sneha was talking about, that the three gunas don't touch, the Brahman because of the same thing. Okay.
This idea of the delusory world of appearances, discussed and explained in the Upanishads as the knowledge that is untouched by the objects, would seemingly look like the philosophy of the Buddhists, which also rejects the existence of external objects other than mere ideas. The days of Sri Godpada were the days of philosophy of Buddhism, and as such he had to add a proviso that Vedanta is not Buddhism. As Sri Radhakrishnan says, he, Sri Godpada, seems to have been conscious of the similarity of the system to some phrases of Buddhists, that he therefore protests rather over much this. His view is not Buddhism, Indian philosophy.
So basically, like I told you, that there are similarities in it, but he's just saying that he just wants to tell the world, hey, this is not the view of the Buddha. That's all. Okay.
Upon this portion of the text, there's a lot of controversy, and differences of opinion are expressed by the critics. Different critics have given different meanings and implications to this portion, wherein Sri Gaudapada declares that his philosophy is not philosophy propounded by Buddha. According to Professor Bhattacharya, this means Buddha said nothing. To some Buddhist writers, this means that Buddha said nothingness. While to other Buddhist writers, it means Buddha said nothing, for it was to be intuitively understood and not explicitly explained. The former schools of Buddhism reached nihilism, while the latter remain as absolutes.
So nihilism is something nothingness or denying the existence of anything, and the other ones are absolute truth. So he's just saying that there are so many versions of Buddhism right now. And then when they say Buddha, some people say, no, Buddha was silence on the topic of God. it does not mean he did not believe in it. That's one view. But he didn't want to talk about it to confuse people, and he thought it was not necessary in the way he was teaching the way. So there are so many different ways, like Meena ji was saying that यहाँ पर भी कितने सारे arguments are different. Oh, Buddha said nothing, Buddha said nothingness, because in there they use the word nirvana. Have heard the right? हम लोग बोलते हैं self realization. You can call it complete freedom, self realization, enlightenment, nirvana. Nirvana means, the word comes from nirvan, means without the जो flame होती है ना, वो एक दिए की flame को वाण बोलते हैं. निर्वाण means वो है ही नहीं, means हमारी जो क्या बोलते हैं, impression in my mind are all finished. That thoughtlessness जो हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, actionlessness, thoughtlessness, desirelessness, that is nirvana. That I don't connect to it because this is all anitya. So it's the same philosophy. But he didn't discuss about that Brahman. That's all he's saying.
However, metaphysically speaking, philosophy of Buddhism is nearest to Advaita in its dialects. And yet there's a soft and subtle distinction between the two, and that is the very distinction